In the year 1914, in the desert of Egypt, an extraterrestrial race known as the Shawans make their presence known. Their mission is to safeguard Earth from impending doom. They arrive to reclaim the elemental stones, stating that Earth is no longer a secure location for these powerful artifacts due to the risk of theft. They assure their human contact, a priest, that they will return in 300 years when a significant threat is predicted to strike Earth. The Shawans instruct the priest to pass on his knowledge and their key to his successors, ensuring the continuity of this vital information. Fast forward to 300 years later, a peculiar celestial object is detected by the space military under the command of the US President in New York. Despite stern warnings from Priest Vito Cornelius not to engage, they fire upon the object. This action results in the object growing exponentially in size. Cornelius then delivers the grim news that this entity is here to wipe out life. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, a team of scientists recovers the hand of a Shawan that was left behind in Egypt. Utilizing advanced technology, they reconstruct a humanoid being from the extraterrestrial hand named Lilu. Upon awakening, Lilu is disoriented and frightened. Speaking in an unfamiliar language, she exhibits extraordinary physical strength. She shatters a supposedly unbreakable glass, steals General Monroe's keycard, and opens the pod. Just as the police arrive to apprehend her, she makes her daring escape through the wall. Lilu, after escaping through a vent, finds herself on the ledge of the building amidst flying cars. Realizing she is surrounded by the police, she takes a leap of faith off the building. Her fall is broken by the taxi of Corbin Dallas. Despite her speaking an unfamiliar language, Dallas is instantly infatuated with her. When the police arrive at his car, Dallas initially complies, allowing them to arrest Lilu. However, moved by her pleas and his growing affection for her, he decides to flee with Lilu. This action leads the police to label him a criminal and initiate a chase, firing at him. Once they find a momentary safe spot, an exhausted Lilu manages to communicate to Dallas that she is looking for a priest named Cornelius. Dallas quickly locates Cornelius' address and carries Lilu to him. Upon seeing a unique tattoo on her wrist, Cornelius faints, realizing that she is the fifth element. When Cornelius regains consciousness, he informs Dallas that Lilu speaks a divine language. As she rests, Dallas attempts to wake her up with a kiss, which results in her pulling a gun on him, forcing him to back off. Cornelius, now in different robes and holding the extraterrestrial key, assures Lilu that she is in the right place. After Dallas is asked to leave, Lilu logs onto the internet to absorb all human knowledge at an incredible speed. When Cornelius asks her about the location of the elemental stones, Lilu reveals that while the Shawans were bringing them to Earth, they were attacked by a violent alien species, the Mangalores, who stole the case supposedly containing the stones. However, she informs them that the Shawans had anticipated this and had hidden the stones somewhere else, rendering the stolen case empty. Fortunately, Lilu knows exactly where the stones are hidden. Emmanuel Zorg, an inventor and arms dealer, arranges a meeting with the Mangalores. He offers them his advanced weaponry in exchange for the case they've stolen, believed to contain the stones. However, upon opening the case, Zorg is met with disappointment as it's empty. This prompts him to abruptly call off the deal. The Mangalores, in response, draw their weapons, compelling Zorg to reluctantly hand over a case of his weapons. When one of the Mangalores presses it, the weapons detonate, causing an explosion that kills several of them. Subsequently, Zorg instructs his assistant to summon Priest Cornelius. During their negotiation, Cornelius staunchly refuses to disclose the location of the stones. Despite Zorg's enticing offers, Cornelius remains unimpressed. The situation takes a turn when Zorg begins to choke on a cherry. His advanced technology proves futile in saving him. It's Cornelius who comes to his aid, hitting him on the back, which allows Zorg to spit out the cherry. This incident prompts Cornelius to question the value of wealth if something as simple as a cherry can pose a fatal threat. Meanwhile, at the president's headquarters, General Monroe informs the president that they've discovered the stones have been entrusted to an extraterrestrial opera singer named Diva. He assures the president that he knows the perfect person for the task of retrieving the stones. Shortly after, Monroe arrives at Dallas's apartment as he is a former Special Forces soldier who had served under him. Despite Dallas's rebellious nature, Monroe believes he's the best fit for the mission, giving him 2 tickets to Folston Paradise, where Diva will be performing. Upon finding out that Lilu is paying him a visit, Dallas hastily hides Monroe and his soldiers in the freezer. With excitement, Dallas opens the door for Lilu, only to be caught off guard by Cornelius. Cornelius, brandishing a gun, reveals that he's aware of Dallas's upcoming trip to Folston Paradise. He insists that Dallas hand over his tickets, as they know that Diva is in possession of the stones. Dallas finds himself once again receiving an unexpected visit, this time from the police. Swiftly, he conceals Lilu in the shower and Cornelius in his pull-out bed. Cleverly, Dallas had removed his name from the apartment door, leading the police to apprehend the wrong man under the assumption that he was Dallas. With the police now out of the picture, Dallas releases a shivering Lilu and Cornelius. However, Cornelius takes Dallas by surprise, knocking him out, seizing the tickets, and departing with Lilu. Subsequently, Dallas liberates a frozen Monroe and his soldiers, assuring that he will undertake the job. Meanwhile, the police, while transporting the misidentified Dallas, fall into an ambush set by the Mangalores. The unsuspecting victim is kidnapped by the Mangalores, who then proceed to alter their appearance to mimic his, thinking that he's Dallas. At the airport, Cornelius assigns his apprentice David to impersonate Dallas, introducing Lilu as his wife. However, the real Dallas shows up, claiming the ticket from David. Shortly after, the Mangalores, now in human form, approach the window clerk, asserting that they are Dallas and his wife. However, the clerk identifies them as Mangalores, triggering a chaotic shootout just as the spaceship is about to depart for Fulton Paradise. Aboard the spaceship, Dallas finds himself being interviewed by the flamboyant celebrity TV host Ruby Rod. Shortly after takeoff, the airport explodes. In his office, Zorg receives a call from Mr. Shadow, the malevolent entity controlling the fireball headed towards Earth. Mr. Shadow inquires about the stones, and Zorg attempts to reassure him that he'll find them, all while bleeding from his head as a result of fear. After a restful sleep on the spaceship, Dallas and Lilu awaken upon their arrival at Fulton Paradise. Cornelius, having stealthily boarded the spaceship, also arrives. Before the opera performance commences, Rod broadcasts live, accompanied by Dallas, before they find their seats. Diva arrives at her green room, shrouded by her guards and a veil. Shortly after, she exits her room, ready to grace the stage with her performance. Meanwhile, the Mangalores infiltrate her room in search of the stones, all under the watchful eye of Lilu. As Diva begins her performance, she enchants everyone with her captivating voice. Amid this, Lilu enters the green room and fights the Mangalores. Following a powerful performance, Diva concludes her act to a standing ovation. Caught off guard by Zorg, after handling the Mangalores, Lilu has no other option but to throw the box of stones to him and escape into a vent. Subsequently, the Mangalores seize control of the ship and start shooting at everyone. Amid the chaotic shooting, a stray bullet strikes Diva in the stomach. The audience begins to disperse in fear. Dallas, tending to the injured Diva, asks about the location of the stones. She reveals that the box in her room is a decoy and that the real stones are inside her. This leads Dallas to reach inside the gunshot wound where he discovers the stones and secures them with the help of a panicking Rod. Dallas then ventures out, engaging in a firefight with the Mangalores. A battle ensues, and despite several close encounters with the Mangalores, he manages to escape the room after planting a bomb, effectively eliminating them. In the process, he also saves Cornelius' life, who had been taken hostage by the remaining Mangalores. Afterward, he locates Lilu inside the vent using the CCTV and helps her out. Simultaneously, Rod notices a time bomb about to detonate in 5 minutes. As the evacuation of the Fulton Paradise ship commences, Zorg arrives just in time to deactivate the bomb. However, in a twist of fate, the Mangalores activate another bomb in a final act of revenge. In the nick of time, Dallas manages to blast a hole in the wall and escape with the spaceship. Upon receiving information from the president that the fireball is set to collide with Earth in 2 hours, Dallas and his group reroute their course to Egypt. Their mission is to locate the chamber where they will activate the stones. During their journey, Lilu immerses herself into the internet once again, this time yearning about the atrocities of war. The horrific acts of humanity lead her to question whether humans are truly worth saving. Upon reaching the chamber, Dallas and Cornelius grapple with the task of positioning the stones. Once they are placed on their respective pillars, the challenge of activating them arises. In a moment of frustration, David inadvertently activates the air stone by sighing onto it. This leads the group to the realization that each stone must be activated by its corresponding element. Air for the air stone, earth for the earth, and water for water. Finally, they reach the fire stone. With only a single matchstick with him, Dallas barely manages to activate it. The last step is for Lilu, the fifth element, to activate her powers to destroy the fireball. However, her newfound knowledge about the darker side of humanity leaves her disheartened and unwilling to proceed. It is then that Dallas shows her that there is something worth living for. By confessing his love for her and sealing it with a passionate kiss, he inspires Lilu to connect all the elements. Energy beams surge through her and into the fireball, diminishing it into nothing, and effectively saving humanity.